This is the cover of my photography buying guide. I wrote it in like 2012 or 2013 originally, but I've been updating it ever since. But because I wrote it so long ago, that's why it has like a T3 on there and super old DSLR gear. So it's time to update it both with the gear and stylistically. And I decided to go for a sort of top-down gear style based on those Instagram pictures that are kind of popular where people show off the stuff that they're bringing. Let me walk you through the process. First, I need a camera pointed straight down. I'm using my 60 megapixel Sony a7R IV. It's incredibly detailed and perfect for this sort of commercial work. I've attached a ball head to a C-stand, which is like a crane for your camera gear. It's very steady and steady enough that I didn't need a sandbag. I really wanted to capture that romance of photography, so I put together just sort of very rustic and masculine gear here. These are just ceramic floor tiles that you can buy at any hardware store, and I have them set up on a stool, so it's just totally fake. And then I picked just some of my favorite gear, this Godox V860 Mark II flash, Sony 85mm f1.4 that I picked largely because, like, look how beautiful that aperture is in there, and I love the way the optics just kind of catch the light. And then this is a speed booster just because it's kind of cool. Of course, my XT, well, it should be my XT4, but my XT3 was closer and had the leather case on it still, so I just used that. And then just some SD cards and a passport. The goal here is just a little bit of storytelling, like a photographer who's traveling, and this is the kind of gear that they would bring, because I want people to ask, like, what kind of gear would I bring in some situation? Now look at the nice quality of light that we have here. I like the way the shadow falls off. I've done this by using a really big light source and positioning it close to the subjects. The light source is a flashpoint strobe. This, what you see now, is just the modeling light that I can turn on and off. And then I just have a big octabox attached to it. And then this is the remote trigger, which makes it easy for me to adjust the brightness up or down so that I can expose everything at the camera's base ISO. Notice this orange cable coming out of the camera. I have the orange cable running all the way over here. It's tethered into my studio computer here running Capture One. You can see it's a Dell Alienware computer that's small enough to be semi-portable. Why go through the trouble of tethering it to a computer? It's because I want to nail this the first time, and this allows me to zoom in and see the picture crystal clear. I can see every single flaw. This also allows me to automatically crop it to the 8x10 perspective that I'll need for the book cover, and to apply things like filters and just kind of know exactly where the title is going to be. So it helps me get the picture the first time. This also allows me to control the camera settings, so I can adjust the aperture and ISO and shutter speed to nail it perfectly. That's all kind of difficult to do with this particular Sony here because it doesn't have a flip screen. Like, it tilts up or down, but not in a way where I could easily access it. So trying to get to the settings and stuff is pretty difficult. Capture One has two modes. I can support live view here, which allows me to very finely position the subjects in the frame for the perfect composition. This monitor, I can actually rotate it 90 degrees, which just allows me to see the proper vertical perspective that I'll need for the book and fill a little bit more of the screen. When it comes time to take the picture, I can just click the shutter here, and then each new picture is almost instantly shown on the screen, so I can really perfect it. Here's how the finished cover to my new photography buying guide looks. Keep in mind, when you're working with print like this, you have to leave room to crop. Whether it's a brochure or a book, they usually want like a 1/4 inch or so, maybe a 1/2 inch around all the edges where the printer will literally be cutting it and it's not precise. It can vary. So you have to keep this in mind when you're photographing, not just you need to leave room at the top and bottom to crop to an 8x10 perspective, but all the edges need quite a bit of room to crop. That's why it's actually really useful to have a higher megapixel image so that you still retain all that detail after cropping. If you want to check out my buying guide, you can buy it directly from Northrop.photo or Amazon and other places. It's been completely updated with cameras like the Canon R5, which I'm filming this on, the Canon R6, the Sony a7S Mark III, even stuff we didn't make video reviews about, we've reviewed it and put it into the buying guide to help you make educated buying choices about everything from camera gear to lenses to flashes to tripods to studio strobes, because we've worked with all of this over the past decade intensely. We have unprecedented access to new equipment, to all the manufacturers, thanks to our big YouTube channel and our successful photography books. That means we get to play with all the toys. We make all the mistakes to save you money, so you'll buy just the right gear. Check it out at Northrop.photo and use the coupon code PBG20 to get 20% off. Don't forget to subscribe for lots of free videos, and if you have any questions, write a comment down below. Bye.